Hello, everyone. This is Jakira Roman. Well, to all of my friends, I just want to say that I care about you guys so much, and I hope you all enjoy it. This is a fan fiction reading video, and today I'm going to be reading the very first fan fiction I made. It's called Just Love, and it is a Georcy fanfic. And if you guys aren't familiar with Georcy, this is a shipping between the Captain Underpants character George Beard and my Captain Underpants OC Stacy Marifer. Anyways, let's start reading. Just Love, a Georcy fanfic by Jakira and Kenyetta. Chapter 1. Love at First Sight. It was a beautiful day in Piqua, Ohio. Children were smiling, adults were working, and the principal was quiet as usual. Our story begins with a young boy named George Beard. George is the kid with the tie and the flat top. His best friend Harold is the kid with the t-shirt and the bad haircut. Remember that now? At school, George is preparing to open his locker. He then opens it, only to have his books fall out of it. "Aw, man," he said. "Who keeps messing with my locker?" He then kneels down to pick up his books. Then all of a sudden he notices another person's hand on the last book he had. George looked up and saw someone he had never seen before. It was a beautiful little girl with long hair and a headband, and that was when George fell in love. "Oh, I'm sorry," said the girl. "Were you going to pick it up?" George's cheeks were bright red. He couldn't keep his eyes off of her. Are you okay?" said the girl. Yeah, I'm fine," George said as he stuttered. "My name is Stacy Marifer," said the girl. "What's your name?" George looked down at his knees. "I'm George Beard," he stuttered. George never felt so shy before. Stacy then giggled. "Cute name," she said. George then blushed even harder. Stacy then gave George back his book. "I'll see you in class, okay?" she said. Chapter 2. Encouragement. "Okay," said George. Stacy then waved goodbye and went back to her class. Went to her class. Sorry. George then let out a happy sigh. "She's so beautiful," he said. Do you like her?" said a kid behind him. George jumped and nearly dropped his books. "Oh my goodness, Harold," George said to his friend. "Don't scare me like that." "Sorry, buddy," Harold said. "I was just wondering if you had a crush on that girl." "What? No way," said George. He blushed again. "Then why are you blushing?" said Harold. "What? I'm not blushing," said George. "Come on, George. If you like her so much, then why don't you just tell her how you feel?" said Harold. "I don't know," said George. "Come on, George. You can do it. You can do anything," said Harold. "You're right," said George. "I'll do it." Harold smiled. "All right, George," he said. Then they went to class. Everyone was reading their favorite books. George and Harold were reading the comics that they made. George then looked at Stacy, then he noticed a picture of a rose on the back of the book that she was reading. George then said to himself, "She reads romance novels? That's interesting." As everyone finished reading, the school bell started to ring and everyone was dismissed. As George was leaving, he then approached Stacy's locker and sticked a letter onto it and ran off before Stacy could notice. Stacy then approached her locker and saw the letter. She then grabbed it, opened up the envelope, and read it. Meanwhile, George was waiting at the entrance of the school for Stacy. Stacy then arrived. "Hey, Stacy," said George. "Hi, George. How are you doing today?" said Stacy. Chapter 3, Confession. "I'm doing good," said George. "Hey, Stacy, there's something I want to tell you, and it's very important." "Really? What is it?" said Stacy. George's face turned red as he began to speak. "Stacy, when I first saw you, I felt something that I never felt before. Something really powerful. Something that made my heart race." Stacy then giggled. "Wow, George," she said. "What are you trying to say?" George's heart began to pound as he began to say those 3 words. "I love you," he said. "I love you, Stacy Marifer." Stacy was then shocked to hear that. Her shocked expression then turned into a smile. "Aw, George," Stacy said. "I love you too." George had a bright smile on his face. "You do?" he said. "Of course, George," said Stacy. "I love everything about you. I love how smart you are. I love how funny you are. And I love how cute you are." George blushed even harder. You think I'm cute?" he said. "Yeah," said Stacy. "Well, I think you're cute too," said George. Stacy started to blush as well. "You do?" Stacy said. "Yeah," said George. "You're super adorable." George and Stacy then shared a sweet, romantic kiss. Harold was watching them from behind the tree. Tears of joy ran down his face. "I'm so happy for them," Harold said. George and Harold knew that this was the start of a beautiful, life-changing, and wonderful relationship. The end. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry if I messed up a little. I'm not really good with speaking, okay? But still, I hope you all liked it, and I hope that you all like my couple, and well, thank you. And I'll see you next time, okay? Bye!